I'm very honored to be here. I'm sorry I don't speak French on this incredible panel. Anne, I've admired you very much for a long time, and I felt full resonance with everything you said. So try not to repeat so many things. And Patrick, right, as well. Amazing and with passion. But everyone, really. I haven't written anything. It's not my way. I can't read from a paper. I'm going to improvise. You know, we're musicians. We do that. But it comes always from the heart. The first point I'd like to make is it's not 500,000. It was 650,000 people. And that is big for a population of 9 million people. 650,000 people from north to south, from Kiryat Shmona to Eilat, all through Israel, in the intersections, in city squares, alongside the road, blocking roads, not blocking roads, with drums, with children, with Holocaust survivors, fighter pilots, the high-tech community, the medical community, everyone, the army. I myself, with my children, marched up to Jerusalem with the reserves duties movement. This is one of the most incredible things we have seen in Israel. The soldiers who are basically holding up the IDF, because the ones who are on mandatory service are a small part. The ones who really drive the IDF are the ones who volunteer for reserve duty, my husband included, and they are the ones who are marching to say, this is not the contract we have with the country. We cannot volunteer for a dictatorship. So this is inspiring and beautiful, like you've all said. This is the power of Israeli democracy and the incredible spirit of our society. I'd also like to say that the judicial reform, it's not a judicial reform. We have to erase these two words. This is a lie. It is an anti-democratic coup. We have to use these words. It's an anti-democratic coup. It may be that the judicial system needs fixing or amendment in some way, but it does not need this kind of reform. It needs some kind of, I would say, amelioration, like so many systems in Israel and everywhere in the world. This is an anti-democratic coup, and it's dangerous. I would also like to say a few words about Netanyahu. I'm sorry that I cannot contain myself, okay? This man is destructive to Israel. He's been in power for decades, and he should leave. He has been accused by the Israeli government of breach of trust, of fraud and bribery. He should be trying to defend himself in court. Rather, he is trying to change the Israeli courts. Is everyone not clear on how ridiculous this is, on how dangerous it is for Israel and for every country? This man should be away from politics in every sense. If it were up to me, it would be much worse than that. We should stop admiring this man. The fact that he has good English, I have good English. I can also be Prime Minister of Israel. This man stands in front of every media channel in the world and lies. He lies without even blinking. And it's appalling to us. He's saying, what? Canada has this kind of system. Can't Israel be like Canada? No, it does not. That is a lie. Israel does not have the checks and balances. We don't have a constitution. We don't have this has been said. I won't repeat it. We have only the Supreme Court. You want to weaken the Supreme Court. You want to kill our democracy to save yourself. And in an evil coalition with messianic forces, with ultra-nationalists, with opportunists of all types, with criminals, accused criminals like Smotrich. Shameful for Israel that this man goes around the world calling himself an Israeli minister. Shameful, this is a dangerous man. He has said very clearly that his solution for the Palestinian problem is three things. One, they will either live under our rule or they will leave of their own free will, or we will meet them at the edge of a gun. Is that a way to speak? That is horrible. That does not represent Israel in any way. I started my activism together with Gildor 27 years ago when Yitzhak Rabin was murdered. One of the greatest inciters leading up to that murder was Itamar Ben-Gvir and his group of criminals. You know, he is now calling for a death sentence for terrorists, but of course only Muslim terrorists, not Jewish terrorists. And there are plenty of those, and he's well on the way of being one of them. This is appalling that our state of Israel, built by the Jewish people who have suffered so much discrimination throughout the years, would have these people in government. You know, we say about the Holocaust, never again. But it's not never again to the Jewish people. It's never again to any people. and we should be leading the torch of this movement. I can tell you for certain, I really hope I can come home tomorrow because of the strikes. By the way, that's a good thing. Finally, we have a general strike. You know, in France, they have general strikes every Monday and Tuesday. For us, we need to actually see the country disintegrating for there to be a strike. But now, finally, the unions have also joined, and there is a strike. That also means that the airport is closed. I hope that I will be able to come home. Why do I want to come home? Because I want to go back to Jerusalem, like I've already been in every single demonstration, together with hundreds of thousands of people. And if Netanyahu thinks that he can, with his lies, convince us to stop demonstrating, it's not going to happen. First of all, this legislation doesn't need to be changed. It needs to disappear. It is absolutely harmful. It is absolutely horrible for Israel and for anywhere in the world. And second, Netanyahu and his entire evil government should go home. They should be dispersed. We need new elections. We need a new government that will work for Israel. I want my children to be able to look at the government and see people who are not accused of horrible crimes, who are not criminals, who are not corrupt, clean, wonderful people working for the nation, the amazing country of Israel, the homeland of the Jewish people with equal rights for every single citizen, including Arabs and non-Jews and everyone that exists in our beautiful country who has made it what it is. We deserve a better government than these people. So no, we're not going to stop until they go home and leave us alone and enable us to build the beautiful country that we have already built. And that I can assure you. Now I want to say a few words about dreams, because we artists, we are in the business of dreams. The Jews had an amazing dream. Their dream was to come to the promised land and create a homeland for the Jewish people, a Jewish homeland. So people came from all over the world. My family from Yemen walked across the Saudi Arabian desert, then over the sea, came and settled in 1895. Before there was even the state of Israel, it was still Palestine, to fulfill their dream. Many people came from countries where there was no serious oppression of the Jewish people. In fact, they lived well with the local population, but they were driven and they were brought in order to sustain this dream. But this dream that they were promised never really was fulfilled. And then you had the Zionist movement that came for different reasons. They wanted a liberal democracy, separated from the Jews of the shtetl and from the oppressed Jewish people. No, the new Jewish paradigm that worked and was educated, that was enlightened. That was their dream. Did that dream happen? No. Nobody's dream was fully fulfilled yet in the land of Israel. And so we need a new dream. We have to figure out a new dream that we can all dream together. And you know, with that in mind, I don't know if you know, but I was a yeshiva student before I came to Israel. In the United States, my parents sent me to yeshiva. And I would like to quote to you something beautiful from the prophet Zechariah. And I will say it first in Hebrew. And it says, "V'nilvu goyim rabim el Adonai bayom hahu, v'hayu li le'am." On the day of the coming of the Messiah, on the day of our redemption, nilvu goyim, many, many nations will come together with us, and we will become a nation. What does that mean, really? That means that the vision, the prophecy, is of all nations coming together, and from there, a great light will shine. And we've already started that. We've started to make peace with Egypt and with Jordan, with the United Arab Emirates, not to mention with Europe and the United States, all nations. We need to understand that without peace, we will never be able to fulfill our dream of being a free people in our country. We do not want to continue sending our children to die in senseless wars. My son is now in the army. My daughter, let me tell you what my daughter is doing. Now she's volunteering 1 year in a special boarding school for post-psychiatrically hospitalized youth, children who have suffered horrible abuse of all sorts and are trying to recover. She and her friends are helping them as big brothers and sisters, organizing events for them. 1 year of her life volunteering. And after that, she wants to be in active combat. She wants to be in the Navy and give another 2 years of her life. This amazing young woman that just before that was busy mostly with TikTok and Instagram. So you never know, there's something inside. Remember, you never exactly know what's going on inside. We have to believe in values. So that is important. And why am I saying that too? We need a dream that we're all part of. We cannot have a whole chunk of the Israeli population that does not go to the army, that does not work, that does not pay taxes. When we talk about equal rights, we talk about equal rights, equal opportunities, and equal responsibilities. You cannot have one without the other. A society cannot exist in that way. And for me, I mean also the Arabs, the 20% Arabs. They should also be able to volunteer in Israeli society, but they should need to be equal. And for that, we need peace. Peace with the Palestinians, equal rights for our Palestinian citizens in Israel, a shared society where everybody is equal, with equal opportunities and equal responsibilities, just like my daughter. And that is also a beautiful dream we can dream together. So we have to start thinking in a sense of dreams that will propel us into the future. I'd like to end with a philosophical idea, and that has to do with the Hebrew language. We all say it's the Jewish state, the Jewish democracy, but we have to admit there's a little bit of a paradox within that. What does that mean about the non-Jewish citizens of Israel? And what does Jewish mean? Is Jewish reform or conservative or orthodox? This is exactly what we're dealing with right now. You have fanatic Jewish people who are delegitimizing anything but their own small view of the world, which of course puts women totally out of the picture. We are nothing, we are air for them. No way, that's not going to happen, of course. You understand that Israelis will not let that happen. But the fact that it's even being discussed, maybe that's good. Let's be optimistic. We're facing that issue. We're facing this difficult issue and we have to deal with it, and we need a constitution to make sure that this never becomes a dominant part of our life. So when we think of all of these things and we think of the kind of society we want to build, let's focus for a moment on David Grossman that you mentioned, on the great poets and the writers, on Eliezer ben Yehuda, and the revival of the Hebrew language, from being an ancient biblical language to being a language that we can write in, we can rap in, we can make movies. The Israeli series are successful all over the world. They're brilliant. They're in Netflix and HBO. Hebrew language. Wow, that's a miracle. So it's the Hebrew state of Israel, the only one in the world where this incredible language is spoken. And I'll say another thing in favor of language. Language, as opposed to religion, is inclusive. Religion is exclusive. And language is the instrument of equal opportunity. So everyone should be speaking this language, including the ultra-Orthodox, not Yiddish, including the Arab population, not Arabic from day one, Arabic as well, Yiddish as well, Russian as well, but one language with which we can all have an integral society with equal opportunities, equal rights, and equal responsibilities. And I'd like to end, sorry if I've taken too long, with a little bit of music. We can't really do a concert here. Yeah, but wait, I don't know if this is conducive to, it's not really, sorry to say, we need more of that. But I want a little bit of something to sing for you here in this situation, just to exemplify the beauty of the Hebrew language and how it can adapt in the most unusual places. Gildor, my amazing friend and partner, musical partner, and I discovered that we could take some of the most beautiful sentences about the tree of life and peace in the Hebrew language, and and connect them to Mozart's Ave Verum, and how beautiful it sounds together. And this could only have happened in the state of Israel. Etz chaim hi lama chazikim ba vetomcheha meushar דרכיה דרכי נועם וחול נתיבותיה שלום. השיבנו אליך ונשובה השיבנו אליך ונשובה ימינו כקדם. Thank you.